Okay, so nice job with the driver. Okay, so we got a pretty good idea of how far you're hitting your irons as well as your woods. Okay, so last but not least, let's look at the wedges. And these are super important for scoring. And what I have here is a little visual aid. It's the clock. And what I like to teach players to do with the clock is essentially you're going to work on a clock system. Okay, so if I might borrow this. So when you look at 9 to 3, it's basically halfway to halfway. Okay, and then we're going to go more into the, well, and we're looking at, we're looking at the arm specifically. So this would be more like 7 o'clock. Okay, with my left arm. And then more like, like 4 o'clock or 5:30 even, like somewhere in that area. So like essentially that's going to be your half swing, and then your 3/4 swing is going to be more like your arm being at 9 to 3. Okay?
Yeah.
And so your full swing will just be wherever naturally your full swing lands. Okay, so you've got 3 wedges, and that's going to give you basically 3 distances with each wedge. Okay, this is really going to help to create like a consistent number that you can sort of land the ball and be able to hopefully make more birdies when you get near the hole with that long drive of yours. Hitting it 300 yards is pretty good. So let's start with that 58-degree wedge, and we're going to do that that sort of 7:30 to sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock swing there.
75.
75. That's a long way for
half?
for your half swing, yeah.
Yeah, good 50.
Okay. All right.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Not terrible.
Pretty good. And what I really like to see here is consistency.
Yeah.
You know, with both the golf ball and your golf swing. So, good job on those. Looks like, Carrie, we've got 35, 28, 22.
Around 30 yards.
Let's hit a few more and see if we can dial it in. You want to try to shoot for a 35-yard shot?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to maybe hit 2 more, and we'll try to shoot for 35. Pretty good. And believe it or not, you took it a little long to the backswing. So on this one here, what I'm going to do is I'll hold this right here. And if you go, past your hip height there, you're going to hit the stick. I'll give you a little bit of room to go past, but not too much.
Too much.
So a little interesting there, right? So a little bit is a lot here. You want to hit another one?
Yeah.
Okay. So and if you look at where it is, I won't move it. So a little under it.
Yeah.
Yep. One more. You want to use the width in your swing to create power here. Nice. Very nice. So we'll continue to work on that.
Balls are pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Same area.
Absolutely. So let's call it 35 with your half swing there. Let's go 3/4 swing on this one.
3/4 swing.
Yes, sir.
So that'd be about an L position.
So if I was to put it there, you're gonna hit it when you go too far. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Good. And nice job going L to L. And really, good job, nice shot. So right around 47 yards in the end of it. Now, you want to create that consistent tempo that you can take with you on the golf course. You being a good player, you're going to have some adrenaline going.
Yeah.
You know, when you're on the golf course. So being able to kind of feel what you feel right now as you're inside the studio, you know, hitting into the screen, you're nice and calm. Just to understand that when, you know, if you're hitting into the 18th hole and you're hitting that short little wedge, you're going to have that adrenaline going. So really being in tune with your body and understanding that tempo is going to be one of the big keys to really producing the same shot over, as well as the length of your golf swing, the length of your arc. Let's get a couple more just like that one. That was good. Let's knock that one in the hole. Would you say you hit behind it a little bit?
A little behind that.
Okay. Let's keep a little weight on that lead foot as we hit this shot. Two. Okay, so we're gonna call this this is your 50-yard shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a 15-yard upswing from the half. So in theory, if that same principle holds true, we're going to be about 65 to 70 yards by taking it up to the next level. But let's call it 75.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put you at 75 yards.
Or full.
And this will be your full shot with this club. Not that you couldn't hit it farther than that if you wanted to. Just keeping that same tempo, that same rhythm, and you know, staying under control. I think this would probably be a good target. You know, ideally at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is create sort of this card for you to be able to play when you get out in your tournament and you're playing golf and say, hey, this is my number, right? And you've got 3 numbers with this club, so this is going to be your homework to work at this now and to sort of really dial in these yardages. This is ultimately going to be the difference, I think, between you know, making 4, 5, 6 birdies and up and around, or you know, having one of those days where it's like I hit a lot of greens and I did a lot of this and a lot of that, but I just didn't, I wasn't getting putts to drop. Well, when you hit them really close like you're doing right now, you're going to find it's a lot easier to make those putts drop.
So consistent around 78.
78?
78, 78.
You want to call it 78 then?
I'd say 78 is pretty good. That one was 80.
You want to call it 80?
I would say 80 because that one was
Alright, we'll
pretty
call it 80.
solid.
I like it. No, that's nice. So your full swing is 80, and theoretically, if you jump on it, it could be a little more.
Yeah, I can
You
get
know,
it.
and if you saw a little bit off, it's going to be a little bit less. So let's move on to your next club. I like what you're doing. We got a pretty good idea of
This is my 54.
where you're at with that. Moving on to 54. So same thing. Let's hit a few with that half swing. Sort of that 430 to 730. Good. So one of the things in this shot, don't get too cute with it
Yeah.
and flip a lot. Try to maintain the width, and you don't need to get overly handsy with this swing. You know, use your
Just
body.
body, yeah.
Yeah,
Shoulder.
think pelvic punch drill.
Like that.
Not bad. I'd say you could bring the tempo up a hair if you wanted to. I think this is, at the end of the day, I think this is going to be more like a 50-yard shot for you. Okay, there's 40. How do you feel about tempo? Not too out of control there?
Yeah, just kind of
Okay. All right, good. Tempo pretty good
That was
there.
good. That was really good.
All right, I think I would try to work to make this your 50-yard shot. So 50 yards can happen from time to time. And if you could really dial this in, I think that could be a really good play for you. Now, just looking at your backswing, you're hinging it a little much.
Yeah.
So
Don't.
let's do a couple of these, and you don't even have to hit it if you don't want to. But I'm giving you plenty of room. So if you hit my stick here, you've gone a significant pass too far.
I just pulled that. Try one more. Hold that up.
A little weight on that front foot. Keep it there and turn. Use your pelvis and your torso here.
Hit it. One more. It's gonna be right on 50.
So let me give you something to feel here. Okay, so now go ahead and kind of pull through a little bit with your lower body. Yeah, so you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that just kind of gives you a nice little feeling there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put this back up. I'll let you kind of feel that. It's pretty solid.
Yeah. 40.
We'll call it 40. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'd say 45.
45? Okay, 45.
Put it in between.
So that would actually be 10 yards longer than what it was with your 58, which gives you a good number. You know, that gives you a good number to cover right there.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's go into that L position. With that 3/4 swing. So that'd be 15 yards longer. Good shot. I like that.
So I'd say 60.
Yeah, that was 62. We're gonna call it 60. I like it.
Say a couple more.
Because you could hit a little farther. Obviously, you can swing out a little more if you wanted, or a little less. But I think 60 is a good number right there. Yeah, you're pretty consistent with that. All right, full.
Cool. This is probably gonna be on 100.
Okay.
That way. You wanna
Okay.
switch it?
Yep.
I say this should be my full 100-yard shot here.
I feel like you might have practiced this one before.
Maybe once or twice.
Nice job. That was 99, I think. Good move. That's beautiful. I tell you, your full move with this club is much better than your half and
Yeah.
your 3/4 move, for sure. I would say you have a lot of opportunity, I think, to improve. Doing some work with those half and 3/4 swings there, as do most players.
Yeah.
All right, we're definitely going to call this a 100-yard shot for you. Are you okay with moving on to the 52?
Let's go.
Ooh, that one almost went in the hole, buddy. Good job. Nice work. How are you feeling right now about this?
Not bad.
Not bad? Any thoughts or feelings on the half and full that you want to?
Well, this is what I really want. I want to get my 50
Okay.
kind of dialed in for like
Okay.
a shot that's like, you know, that I can knock down, you know, let's say 110 yards, 100 yards.
Okay.
So that would be a good L swing probably.
All right. I want to throw a sticker on this club, and I just want to see from a perspective of how efficient you're being with this one as well. So look here.
So what do you want to do?
Let's do
swing?
half swings.
should have been pretty efficient.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how your half swings, they tend to kind of all go the same no matter what club you've hit right there.
22, is that not good?
No, that's not bad at all.
Okay.
So PGA Tour average for like sand wedge is usually right around 1 to 1. So
Yeah.
like with that being a gap wedge, yeah, I think that's probably and again everybody's a little different. So like depending on how you set it up, if you want to hit a little higher, a little lower, how much loft you have on the face is going to change that number around a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. It's not bad. I think you can create a little more width. So take the club back halfway. I think can you create more width here? You know what I mean? More width there as opposed to sometimes
Hinging.
you do a little too much of this.
Yeah.
Try to use that body a little more and get your width of arc. So that's more like an L position with the hands there. Yeah. Nice. That was solid.
Yeah.
58 on that one.
That was pretty good, I think. Let's see if I can do that again.
Mm-hmm. So you actually took it back 3/4.
Yeah.
And almost to me,
That
looks
was
like you
fun.
might have decelerated a little bit on the way through it.
Okay. So let's just do half. I thought that was pretty good.
Okay.
What was the efficiency?
1.2.
Okay.
You want to call it 50?
50.
Okay, 50, and then let's go to the L swing. Sorry, we're getting close to running over on time. I apologize. Are you doing okay?
Good.
All right. Let me know if I wear you out too bad. We're just got maybe 6 more swings, and then I'll do a little review for you. So pretty good position in the L position there.
Yeah.
Efficiency was actually down a little bit, which
Yeah.
lead me to believe that your hands are a little behind it at impact. So
Yeah.
make sure you're leaving. You want to really hit this shot off your left foot. You don't want a lot of weight transfer in this swing. You're really using your body more so than a weight shift to hit it. .62. .59.
So let's say probably around 60.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
I think that was much better.
Yeah.
I think that's more going to be your
What
goal.
was the efficiency on that one? 1.1?
1.18.
Okay. That's getting
That's
better.
definitely, I think, more. I think a goal. You want to see a little more of a difference between all 3 of your 3/4 swings. This is one of the better swings in terms of really probably being the most consistent when you're under pressure.
Yeah.
It's definitely one that you're going to want to work on quite a bit and be able to have enough tempo to where you're seeing a difference between that and your half swing.
Yeah.
Let's call that 70
Yeah, I think
is going to be the goal there. Because that way, with your 58, you'd be 50, your 54 is 60, and your 52 would be 70.
Yeah, that's like that.
You know what I mean? And that gives you some stuff to cover. Yeah. So easily you can hit it farther.
Yeah.
Let's move on to
Full swing.
52 at full.
Move it to maybe like 120.
120. Okay, that's a pretty significant.
From 100.
Well,
Yeah.
it actually fits perfect
Yeah,
because
115.
your lob wedge was 80. So you got 80, 100, and then 120.
And then my pitching wedge is usually 130.
Oops.
Let's see what this is.
This would be actually pretty perfect. At 120 for you. 120 on the number, sir.
120.
Way to go, yeah.
I just need to figure out how to put that one in.
0.14 efficiency. What's funny is efficiency was actually down compared to what you were doing with some of the other ones. Again, 120 right on the number. Very well done. Alright, I think that's going to be the one to end on right there.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. Okay, so let's talk a little bit, and I'll go ahead and just kind of hit a few for you. So last week's homework was pelvic punch drill.
Yeah.
Okay, which is kind of funny because today we worked on like a lot of half swings and stuff like that. So definitely, I think that working on that pelvic punch kind of helps with these smaller swings. Our idea. So for some players, they like to use the clock as their system. So some players like to use half swing, 3/4 swing, full. Okay, so whatever works best for you. What are your thoughts in terms of how it felt?
I mean, I like the idea of the clock.
You like the clock?
Yeah, because that makes sense. You're half right there, the
Mhm.
half. You're at the L,
Mhm.
and then you got your full swing in there.
Yeah, and one thing that I kind of like about the clock as well, is somebody as skilled as yourself. So when we look at your numbers here, and so you've got them all written down. So when we look at, let's say you get a 60 yard shot. You could easily pick that one here. Yeah. So you could easily do a 54 half swing.
Yeah.
You could even take your 58, go a little less than half.
Yeah.
You can go 58 more.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 3/4. And you could go, your 58, that 35 yard 58, you could swing a little harder. So you have options depending on what the scenario is.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to be your homework between this week and next week. Is going to be working on that clock system, getting them a little more dialed in and
Yeah.
a little more consistent on how you're height-wise and total numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Decent ways to do that. You're a rangefinder.
Yeah.
Okay. So get yourself some cones, set them out there at like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, right? And then, spend a little time doing that. That's definitely going to help you, I think, in the long run.
Yeah.
So, you have any questions for me for today?
No.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Work on, getting my wedges dialed in a little more.
Yep.
And just staying consistent.
Right. Absolutely. And as far as your driver's concerned, I think ultimately you're doing a good job there as far as distance wise. But like you said, consistency is going to be a big key. So
Yeah.
maybe as a mental aspect of the game, don't try to hit it as far as you can hit it every time.
Yeah.
But maybe try to hit it to a number, especially like on those par fours that are a little shorter.
Yeah.
Instead of
Just hit a little baby cut out there.
swing your driver as hard as you can.
170.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hit a hybrid down there and have like a short iron in.
Yeah.
Or a full
Yeah.
a full wedge or something like that. So definitely looking at sort of the mental aspects of how to make more birdies is also going to help, because I know that's definitely one of your goals, to make more birdies.
Yeah.
So we're going to work on those distance wedges and hit that driver a little more accurate.
Sounds good.
All right, looking forward to seeing you
All
next
right.
week, buddy. Thanks for your
Good.
hard work.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Ooh, excuse me. Trim that, Sorry.
That was great.
I've been holding that in all freaking day.